as marijuana started to become legal, as prostitution started to become legal, and then guns, which there's always a fight about. Under the Obama administration, they started to debank legal marijuana businesses.
What's going on, you guys? Today we have Emma Vigeland and Sam Cedar calling out Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan has his guest on today, and they just downright phony. I'm playing a clip from the Majority Report as well as a clip from the JRE Experience. Sam Cedar and Emma Vigeland, they're breaking down Joe Rogan's lies in real time with some of my commentary. Let's get into it.
Does include the merging of corporate power with the state. What is Elon Musk doing with Donald Trump all the time right now? What are all these billionaire cabinet officials that are coming into this administration? So they pick out that tiny, tiny little thing, that tiny part of the definition, and obscure it to make it so like any kind of tech company having terms of services is fascism. You liars. You liars. Like, this is how we have this massive gap in understanding in this country in part. It's because of disinformation podcasts like this one, which includes Spotify as a corporate entity that owns Joe Rogan, peddling misinformation that has midwifed this movement where, yeah, the Democrats have a million problems and screwed this, but it's also a function of a completely a media environment and these corporations that have zero accountability as to what they're putting out there for millions of listeners.
Go ahead.
System. And so this has been happening to all the crypto entrepreneurs in the last 4 years. This has been happening to a lot of the fintech entrepreneurs, anybody trying to start any kind of new banking service, because they're trying to protect the big banks. And then this has been happening, by the way, also in legal fields of economic activity that they don't like. And so a lot of this started about 15 years ago with this thing called Operation Choke Point, where they decided to, as marijuana started to become legal, as prostitution started to become legal, and then guns, which there's always a fight about. Under the Obama administration, they started to debank legal marijuana businesses, escort businesses, and then gun shops, just like your gun manufacturers. And
first of all, they didn't. The point is that because it is not this debanking that is happening is a function of, like, these banks are under federal auspices and marijuana is illegal. Or was. I'm not saying it should be. It should be legalized. But that's why. It wasn't like it wasn't that the Obama administration decided, like, we're going to start to debank all these.
To give a little bit of context, Joe Rogan's guest is Mark Andreessen. Mark Andreessen is a former software engineer. It appears that he is attacking bank regulation safety nets. This is, just one example, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, the one that was taken out by Doge or is currently under attack by Doge. And the main purpose of this is to keep consumer protection in the financial sector.
These legal marijuana operations, it was that there were states that began to decriminalize it, and they couldn't use the banking system because it was illegal on a federal level. I mean, this is just absurd. It's just an absurd retelling of revisionist history. And with
awful mouth noises.
Awful mouth noises. The amount of, like, I don't know, what is it, Adderall? It was whatever is being chopped up and inhaled. Is there any more on this?
That's probably it. I don't think I realized that David Horowitz, it was Ben Horowitz's father. David Horowitz, who runs the far-right think tank, the David Horowitz Information Center.
Right, but how did he get debanked? What, like, he must have...
I can't find anything
David Horowitz Freedom Center, excuse me.
Probably money laundering, I'd imagine.
Wait. What did we learn about tenant media and all that kind of thing?
Exactly, yeah. I wonder if it's just their political views.
Yeah, it must be that they're...
We just picked 4 random people in the country who had political views we didn't like, and those are the 4, because those are the linchpins. David Horowitz and Kanye are the people who are the linchpin of the whole right-wing operation. That's why we debanked those 2 guys. All right, let's... This whole thing with, like, as Joe Rogan was telling us, well, let's take a phone call, and then look how disciplined I am.
Good job, Sam.
Thank you. Someone noticed. Calling from a 205 area code.
Hey, this is Harper from Birmingham.
Harper from Birmingham, what's on your mind?
Well, just with Thanksgiving. Well, first of all, before I start off, Emma, I'd like to thank you for directing me to R.M. Brown to watch Sam's debate with Tim Pool. It was absolutely incredible. There was a minute where he just repeatedly had Sam saying the word toilet over and over.
I think that was maybe Matt. It might have been myself recommending
If you guys like this vid, make sure to like and subscribe for more.
it as well, but because in good conscience, I can't recommend more toilet humor as it relates to Sam's Tim Pool media appearance, although some of that may be coming up later in the show.
Yes, absolutely. Well, my kind of comment question is just with the holidays coming up, with Thanksgiving coming around, like being around more right-wing people, what is your kind of advice for trying to kind of keep the peace and maybe even persuade them to another side?
I would say, and I'm not going home for Thanksgiving this year, so I don't really need to put this into practice, but I would let them talk their shit a little bit and sort of let them hoist themselves by their own petards of what they think the significance is going to be for, and then you can hopefully reap the rewards on that in future years.
My advice has always been patience. All you need to do is plant one seed. You are never, ever going to convince anybody of anything. And so the idea is you have to get within their circle of trust. I hate big pharmaceuticals. Me too. It's a real problem. They're rapacious in the amount that they charge us. Do you know that they charge us more in this country, like multiple of like 10 or 20 or more than they do in other countries? Yeah, we're all in agreement. I just wish that Trump had taken a piece of the thing of warp speed, or that Trump wasn't basically selling off these things to the highest bidder, or that he wasn't trying to undermine Medicare's negotiations with these drugs. That's my biggest problem, and just let that sit and percolate and germinate. This is a long-term project, and it's going to have to be helped
Absolutely.
out by kids.
So there we have it, you guys. We have Sam Cedar and Emma Vigeland calling out Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan's going to continue to platform these CEOs, these software millionaires, billionaires, all of these, Silicon Valley guys that will directly benefit from all of our jobs getting automated, from everything becoming very robotic in nature, and not really caring about the greater picture of humanity, but wanting to progress by any means necessary, right? Who's the one that is defining that progress? I guess, we still don't know yet. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. It's another day in the progressive way.